Curio cards are extremely rare cards in Sorcery Contested Realm Alpha and Beta Edition. They tell the development of Sorcery Contested Realm as a game, and the overarching theme is that they are iterations of earlier card designs and art designs of Sorcery Contested Realm.
In this video, we will present to you everything you need to know about the Curios. We will let you know where you can find them and how to spot them. And of course, we will also present to you all of the amazing Curios found in Beta Edition. Welcome to the Cardboard Guide. Let's dive in.
The first tip to find the Curio cards is about the pack composition, because Curio cards are always hiding in the last 10 slots in a pack of Sorcery Contested Realm. The last 10 cards in a pack is called the ordinary slot, and if you're lucky enough to find a Curio card, that is where it will be hiding.
The Curio cards were a part of the initial Kickstarter stretch goals. They had said from the Sorcery team, if this Kickstarter would reach $1 million, they would add some very special and mysterious cards to the packs. And they did. They reached almost $4 million, so they became a part of the pack composition, and it has made the box opening experience really exciting.
The Curio cards brought real excitement to the alpha box openings, and a lot of nice Curio cards were found. In the beta edition, we know that the Curios are all brand new, but they are still telling of the creation of Sorcery Contested Realm. Having Curio cards in the ordinary slot means that you need to go thoroughly through the ordinary slot, and that also brings greater attention to the great art. Another thing is that having Curio cards also entices people to open more boxes, and that is also great. Even though you might have found every card there is to be found in Sorcery Contested Realm, you could still just find that extra little curio.
This part is going to be on how you can spot a curio card. There are a few characteristics that all the curios share. So the first one is that they are intentional. So if you have something that is a slight misprint or just a little printing error, that's not going to be a curio, because curios are intentionally made the way they are to be rare and tell something about the history and creation of the game. The next thing is that curios are rare. Right now we don't have a certain estimation, but we know that it's somewhere between 1 per 50 and 1 per 100 boxes. So a very rare card indeed. It's really important to know these things, that you need to find them in the ordinary slot. They're intentional, they're very rare, and they always have something to do with earlier versions of the art or some iteration of the game and gameplay. Now we're going to dive into some of those very specific Telltale Signs so you can find all the Curio cards in your boxes.
One very easy to spot Curio card that has been found in the beta edition is the card Water Castle. As you can see, this card is vertical, and that means that at some point in the game's development, the sides were intended to be vertical, but as we know, they are now horizontal. So that is a sure telltale sign that this is a curio. You can also see that we have some resource symbols that are clearly not a part of the game as we know the game now. So that is also a really telltale sign of a curio. And last but not least, you also see that there's this sort of harlequin pattern on the text box. And this harlequin pattern is also on some of the curios from the Alpha edition. For instance, the curio card Belfry, that is also an earlier iteration of a side card.
The Water Castle was one of those curios that are more easily spotted. It is clearly different. It's a side card, but in a portrait format. So pretty easy to spot if you know what you're looking for. Now to some of the cards that are really subtle. These are difficult to find, and they also had parallels in the Alpha edition. They are cards where the art on the card has simply been inverted. So the inversion can be found, in this case, on Adept Illusionist. Adept Illusionist has an inversion, and you can only see it on the hands, the mouths, and also this slight little haze that is in the middle between the two figures. And maybe even the Sorcery team thought it might be too difficult to find, because they helped us out just a little. And if you have a look here at the tagline, you can see that the curio says means instead of the original tagline text that is skills. So they may want to help us out just a little, because this was very difficult to spot. In general, you have to always revert back to the first rule of Fight Club or of the Curio Club. They are found in the ordinary slot. So if you find the card in the ordinary slot that isn't of the ordinary rarity, you should really inspect this card closely, because it could be a curio. The official policy of the company behind Sorcery Contested Realm is that they don't talk about the curios at all. They acknowledge their existence, and they're really happy and excited to see people find them, but they don't want to reveal anything. Eric has once mentioned something was not a curio because there was a fake introduced, but besides that, the company does not talk about the curio cards. I started a curio list for myself, and I thought at some point maybe the community would enjoy seeing this list as well to get sort of a feeling of how many curios are out there, how many are getting pulled, and what kinds of curio cards do we actually have. And I've been doing this since the alpha edition. So on our Discord server, you can find a list of both the alpha and the beta curios. So please join us if you want to have a look at all the curios found so far. You can find the link down in the description.
And as Sophie said, she just runs this list, and we need your help to keep it updated and up to date. So every time you spot a curio, please tag Sophie on Facebook, Discord, or whatever channel where you can reach us, and we're going to add your curios to the list and keep the updated tally on the curio numbers found. We of course hope that you are getting some value out of this video, and if you do, remember to like and subscribe because that helps the channel out a lot.
And with that, let's check out all of the amazing curios found in the beta edition. Let's get to it.
Severin and Pinot made the gorgeous elemental avatars for the pre-con decks for Alpha Edition. These avatars are absolutely stunning, but unfortunately, Eric decided that he wanted to have a more hooded look for many of the avatars in order to have people immerse themselves more in the avatar that they were playing. So the elemental avatars from the Alpha Edition pre-con decks were scrapped, and they got replaced by the elemental avatars of the pre-con decks in the Beta Edition. But all was not lost for Severin Pinot's gorgeous art, because these cards had made a little comeback as curio cards in the Beta Edition. So if you find a pencil sketch card of the elemental avatars from the Alpha Edition, you are in luck because you have just stumbled upon a curio.
The next curio card is Black Obelisk. Black Obelisk is one of these cards where we can clearly see that there was intentions of having some sort of different system for the tab ability as clearly indicated on the text box. They also tried to use Roman numerals instead of regular numbers, both seen on the casting cost and on the text box here. The type line has also changed, but the art remained the same. But another really interesting thing that we can glean from this curio card is the fact that at one point creatures had both power and toughness, because this relic could turn into a 2/2 creature. So this is really interesting because it shows us that the game has really come a long way from the development and until now. And as you can see down below under the text box, there was also a different attribution of the artist planned. This one is definitely more clunky, it's less elegant, and it is one of the things that has caused us to think that perhaps there are 25 curio cards in each of these sets, because there is this little hidden number. But who knows, it still remains to be seen if there are 25.
Next up is the Adept Illusionist. We've already talked about this card, but it resembles the Alpha Edition curio card of the Self-Sim Simulacrum because the art has been inverted. But it is really hard to spot, so the team helped us out as we mentioned, and they have added the word means to the text box instead of skills. So if you find an Adept Illusionist with the words means, you have found a curio.
The next group of curios I have chosen to sort of group together because they are all part of the same kind of curios. In the Alpha Edition, the Kickstarter edition, we got a set of box toppers. In here we had both the Syrian Templar and also the Critical Strike. These were old art, so they were not the ones used in the main set, but instead alternative art pieces that Eric chose to give to all of the Kickstarter backers that got the Alpha boxes. They're back as curios. So we have both Critical Strike and also Syrian Templar with the old art from the box topper in Alpha, but this time around they are in foil and they have a regular spellbook back. So we can clearly see that these are actually curio cards because they have the beta symbol. They have a very unusual foil back because normally all foils have a full art back. And we can see this alternative art as a way to sort of pay homage to the recent Kickstarter, so more recent history for Sorcery Contested Realm. Both of these have been found as curio cards, and as we will see later on, we also have some of the cards from the pledge pack.
Next up is the Guile Sirens. This time around, the Guile Sirens have the art from the pledge pack, but they are definitely from the Beta Edition because at the bottom of the card you have the Beta Edition set symbol. Also, this card is in foil. But if you flip it around just like any other foil, you should expect to have a full art background, but this card does not. It has a regular spellbook back, so do look out for that. The Critical Strike, the Syrian Templar and the Guile Sirens all pay homage to the original Kickstarter set. The Syrian Templar, Critical Strike and Guile Sirens are curio cards and they are the first foil curio cards found, but do remember that they have a regular back.
Next up on the Curio list is the Far East Assassin. This time we have an alternative art. The original was made by Elvira Sekuroma, and this one is made by Severine Panot. The original art is known by a member of the community, so shout out to Too Fluent. And this card is really cool, and it has an alternative type line as well, so you can spot that it clearly is a Curio card.
Next up is the Inferno Legion. This art is by Melissa Benson, and at some point Eric requested another art for the Inferno Legion. He wanted it to become more dark, so this original art piece was scrapped until now, where it showed up as a curio. You can recognize this curio by having only 5 skeletons, being much lighter in the tone, and it also has a different text line, which reads, "An elite undead army in flames." So should you find an Inferno Legion with really light colors and only 5 skeletons, you have found a curio. Congratulations. Another curio card that also has a different art is Extinguished, and this art was originally scrapped by Eric, so Brian Smith had to do another one for the card that we now know from the alpha and beta editions. So this is an earlier art piece, and it's much darker in the colors. You can also recognize this curio card by the text line that has also been slightly altered.
This card is also a Curio card. It is Spear of Destiny. This time around we need to look really closely so we can find out why precisely this is a Curio card. If you look down here at the artist's attribution, these 2 faint lines coming out of the word art and the name Modesty is the way that we can tell that a card was from the pre-con decks in the alpha edition. And as you see, it of course has the alpha symbol. But an important thing to note was that this specific card, Spear of Destiny, was printed with a little error. So all the cards in the pre-con decks in alpha that were the Spear of Destiny cards had a copyright symbol. The combination of the slashes coming out from the artist's attribution and the alpha set symbol logo did never exist in the alpha set. So this is clearly Curio, and if you still aren't completely sure, both of these were actually found in the ordinary slot. So back to the first rule of Curio Club. They are always in the ordinary slot, and the Spear of Destiny is a unique card. So this is certainly a Curio card, and Eric trolling us with his own little print error. I kind of like it.
Next up is a fantastic little card. It's the side Step, but this time around the original art from Step has been replaced by 2 art pieces from the Alpha edition and of course also for the Beta edition. And they have been replaced by the cards Crusade and the cards Jihad. And these 2 cards, if you have them, can be placed next to each other, and then they make up a bigger art piece all by themselves. And this bigger art piece has become the art piece for the card Step. This is actually a playable curio because nothing in the ruling or flavor text or anything else has been changed, so you could actually play with this curio and just have that extra blink factor, because this is a truly gorgeous piece of art. Those were all the curios found in the beta edition so far, and now that you know what to look for, we hope that you're going to go happy hunting for curios.
Thank you to all of you tagging me on Discord and on Facebook. I really appreciate it. I put together the Curio list, but I really couldn't do it without all of you helping me out. So thank you. If you've liked this video, please do help us out with hitting the like button or becoming a subscriber. We have more videos coming on Sorcery Contested Realm.
A big shout out and thank you also goes out to our YouTube channel members and our Patreon members.